Haven's Hollow is beautiful. In today's situational report, I will be breaking down our first win on Warzone's newest Resurgence map for the Black Ops 7 integration. If you're new, then you just found your #1 source for all things Warzone improvement, and today is no different. I'm going to break down this gameplay and give you my tips and tricks, as well as my opinions on the map along the way. So if you're serious about your Warzone improvement, smash the like button and hit subscribe and start your journey to become a better player today. One of the biggest things that I talk to players about is their positioning and their ability to change things up in a gunfight. This player obviously had no idea there was a zip back there, and to be honest with you, neither did I. But changing that rotation and getting around the outside, I was either going to go into a window or take that elevation, and they weren't ready for the reach out. The footsteps are very, very clean in today's update. And you can hear multiple players moving below me, and I am trying to pick those lines of sight and separate or isolate in those 1v1 scenarios. You don't want to take on more than one enemy. It is very, very risky to do. So I'm dropping down piece by piece to pick teams apart as we move through a map that we know nothing about. My opinions on the map are it is very vibrant, which is what we've asked for so many Resurgence maps. We've dealt with fog and browns and muddy colors, and this is absolutely perfect for what we were looking for. Remember, the dots are on the map. That means they're on our level, and we want to make sure that we're pushing those and trying to use the same isolating tactics when we're trying to separate those teams. I have the map blown up for you guys so that I can talk to you more about what we see on the map and how to react to it. That's going to be very important at the end of the game. Now, this elevated position, we have an enemy above us. We can't call the streak in, and we are going to try and take cover away from this. But if you notice on the screen, there's still an elevated arrow up there, meaning I saw this player on the map and physically, so I'm not going to push out into the open to res my teammate. Now, I still have 4 seconds on the restart, and I hear the audio. I'm using the poles to get away, changing my location with the blind, and then laying down behind the piece of furniture. This simple getaway tactic, if they were to pursue me, I would have had the upper hand to reach out. I don't see that enemy anymore, but I do see a dot on my level. I'm pushing up to pinch the Terminator skin, and this guy gets up, and it is just an absolute cluster. And you're going to see that on Haven's Hollow quite a bit. There are moments of tranquility where it's calm and there's not a lot going on, and then before you know it, multiple teams will converge on one position. And the big thing about this map is there is boatloads of cover, so you have to use your angles. It is very, very important to get comfortable with your positioning and how you're going to take fights. So we're going to push up towards these dots because we got our loadout, and we are using a UAV to narrow down and isolate these teams. By the way, I'm using the veteran perk for flinch resistance, the sprinter perk for a variety of movement advantages, as well as the adaptive perk, which is so overpowered. I highly recommend running these right now. Now, I have multiple dots on the map, and a loadout just purchased. We've broken 1 player, but there's already 2 teams here. So we're going to back off around the outside because it is not a good position at the moment. Once we get around to the outside, we have those longer lines of sight to fight towards people who are regaining on that loadout, which is exactly what we did here. We're able to take the Terminator skin out. We're still contending with the change in aim assist, and honestly, it feels a little bit better with this update, or at least I'm starting to get used to it. I have several aim guides out. Now, I see an opportunity to save the teammate here, but I'm paying attention to the fact that these guys are all over the place. And they are also in the window above where we shot below, and I see a guy in the roof. So I'm going to use my lethal to shut down that right side flank, and then I'm going to fall back to get a better angle on this window. I'm still experimenting with the meta. I believe this is called the XMR. Reminds me a lot of a SCAR, and it is quite heavy hitting. So I'm going to be working with this quite a bit here. Trying to rotate around those outsides. We're getting the angles of every window and rooftop to make sure that we can take these players out one at a time. We don't want to push the front window or kick in the front door because we don't know where they're at. He was right here. I heard him clear as day. He's got some bunny hops going on. And once again, I'm still trying to figure out these metas. And if you guys have a really good sub that you really think is awesome, leave that down in the comments below. Or just tell me how you guys are feeling about Haven's Hollow and the Black Ops 7 integration. I'm really enjoying it. I had a lot of fun for the hour or so I got to play today. Unfortunately, I had a lot to do at work, so I didn't get on till later. So now we have tons of intel, and remember that the arrows are right above us in this situation, but that doesn't necessarily mean they're in the air because we are on an incline. It's very important to respect that because with the elevation changes, it can throw you off and make you think that players are much farther away than they really are. When as we crest the hill, I stop right at the top and I'm looking directly at that carrot, and boom, the second guy is there. We're still continuing the pursuit because we see fly-ins. Now I see the one trailing over to my 11 o'clock position, but I'm also seeing the solo over here on the buy station, biding my time, using the railing and waiting for the most opportune time to start shooting. Make sure you're waiting for those players to get far enough away from cover past the point of no return so that you can get the kill. Pinching tactics are still very effective with these multi-layered routes that we've been talking about for the last few days, and I really can't say it enough, is make sure you space out your fights, because as you squeeze, you want to catch the squirt. Once you roll up on a house and there's multiple carrots in there, multiple red dots, you don't want to push inside immediately. It is a death sentence. Fall back to the outside, and again, wait for that pressure to make someone mess up. Hear the audio cue and see the minimap. He's on the outside, and we have isolated this down to one enemy. He's broken, but we're not going to push in just yet because we don't have confirmation that it's just him. Play it a little slow, backing off. There's a buy station outside, and I have plenty of money to buy too, but I don't want to give up our control of this house and sell. No audio and no visual. Teammate gets the buyback, and I have fresh shots around the back here. Still don't have the monolithic suppressor. I definitely need to get that. I think this gun will be overpowered with that on it. Get too knocked with the precision airstreak, and I'm not able to call in a returning one right away, but I'm prepared to do so. Somebody sneaks up and buys back a bunch of players. We're able to secure that buy station, see the fly-in. I decide I want a UAV to get more information. Make sure you're picking up your streaks after you buy one. I'm going to call off a perimeter precision. I see the dot coming from behind who just knocked my teammate on the roof. He fell down and I was not able to get to him in time. But that's our next priority target here. Right on the peak of this. I'm using the peak of the barn that I'm on to get over there. I don't have enough for the buyback. I'm coming over here to get his money and get back in the game. No one's picking up blue. He's up. We have new information. So I'm going to try and hold these guys over here at the bridge, and I see two heads, two dots, but I'm not respecting the vantage point that this guy had on the car. And he crept up to the top and was able to rip me right as I poke my head up above the barn. That's okay, though, because I have 3 teammates and a buy station still. So we're going to remain calm. They're patiently waiting for that inside the protection of cover and then rotating out. He's marking him in the water so his teammates know exactly where he's at. And I see 2 guys, one in the red car, so I say that. and they're rotating around the outside. That sliding circle is punishing, guys, by the way. The speed is absolutely overbearing. He gets the live ping, and we're able to 3v1. So we finished the game off with 11 kills. I really like the map. It plays exactly like I thought it would, which is a lot like Fortune's Keep. I hope you guys enjoy it. I'm going to be putting out dozens of guides in the coming weeks. I have all types of stuff planned for you. My normal situational reports, just like this, and a ton of tips and tricks, settings, everything you can think of, is including some meta loadout guides. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Keep building, keep adapting. SitRep out.